Hello, my name is Mayra Castro. I was born into a hearing family where I was the only deaf person in my family. My parents were Cuban refugees. My two older, I have two sets of siblings. The oldest two were born in Cuba, the youngest two were born in America, and I'm 2 years apart from my American youngest siblings. My family moved from Cuba to New York and then moved to New Jersey, where I was born and raised. The area in New Jersey that I grew up in had a very strong Cuban presence. From the years around 1960 to the 1980s, there were a lot of Cuban people moving from Cuba to New Jersey. I'd not yet been exposed to that community. However, I saw a lot of people in that community in New Jersey. My family, however, was very tight and close-knit, and we tend to stick together. My cousins, they lived in New York, so I grew up visiting my cousins very often. Growing up, I went to an oral school, which meant that sign language was banned. I was not allowed to sign at that school. Another important thing to note is that the majority race at that school was white. There were a couple of black students and teachers, however, everyone that around me as I went through my schooling process was all white. There were no role models to look up, Cuban role models to look up to. The teachers were white as well. My parents only spoke Spanish, and my siblings went to an English as a second language school. Going to an oral school meant that I learned English. So even with the sign language communication barrier, if my parents signed, they still didn't know English. They only knew Spanish. So the language barrier was very present there. It was very frustrating growing up with no way to communicate with my parents.